gonna keep it low now. If you wanna go, let's go. Let's wrap it up and hit the road. I just got an awesome vibe, striking the winner post now. Liberty's on my mind. We've taken out.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Heather with the Moscow, and today we are going to be making a video about if I was starting my garden over in 2026, these are the things I would buy. If you're new here, or welcome back, my name is Heather and this is the Moscow, where we are learning to garden together and trying things out even when conditions aren't perfect. Yesterday I made this video and I did a terrible job of it, so I'm redoing it today, but yesterday it was 60 degrees. Today it is not. Today it is 30. Phew. So I was sitting down and I was thinking about when you get into gardening, it seems like there is a whole lot of tools and information and things you need and you don't need, and what do you do, and your conditions are different, and how do you adjust, and it's a lot. It can be a whole lot. And like I feel like any other good hobby, it can be very expensive. So how do you know what you really need? So I wanted to cover the things that I feel like I have come across and I have used and that have made the biggest difference in our day-to-day things that I need to make gardening enjoyable and doable for me. So when I was looking at trying to make a list of these things, what was kind of my criteria? And it was things that have made the biggest impact. So gardening can be a lot of manual labor and hard work, and that's one of the fun things about it, because you get to challenge yourself and et cetera, et cetera. But that's not sustainable. You can't go out in your garden and every day spend 5-6 hours blowing out your muscles and doing things you're not equipped to do or that you're used to doing and have your garden be maintenanceable. So we need tools and things to help us to make it A, enjoyable, but B, so we can consistently maintain it. That's really, really important in the gardening, because there's nothing like spending a ton of money on plants and then it's the hardest thing ever to put them in the ground, and then to maintain them it's just a beating, and so then you give up on it and then you want to try again and then you lose that plant, and you're going to lose some plants, but it can be a beating. So I really wanted to sit down and think about what are the things that make it so gardening is enjoyable for me but doable. I don't have a lot of time. A lot of you don't have a lot of time, where you have families and work commitments. I work a stressful job that's over 40 hours a week, every other week, and I have to be able to do it in the time allotted to me. So how do I need tools that are going to make it so that I can get the job done, it can be enjoyable, I don't have to take a 7-hour nap afterwards because it's so daunting. And that goes back to kind of my last video, or the video I made about mistakes I'm not making, is being able to use your time efficiently and wisely. And these are the tools that I feel like, after being in my garden for several years now, make the biggest difference in me being able to maintain everything. Some of these are going to be really cheap and some of these are going to be really expensive, but these are the things that I feel like if you're going to start this year and you needed to invest in only a few things because you can't buy all the things at once, these are the things that are going to make the biggest impact on your ability to keep your garden looking nice and it be enjoyable for you. So let's get started. We're going to do that inside because it's cold out here, but the lighting is better out here. You know, let's go inside. We're back outside because, again, lighting. The first thing that I'm going to say is a necessity, and it's not expensive, but I don't think it's talked about very much. Gloves. Now, some of you are seasoned gardeners and your hands have calluses like you've never seen, or maybe you do a manual labor job and your hands have calluses you've never seen, or you're bothered by somewhat lack of dexterity. But gloves are a game changer for me, and there's different gloves for different situations. You've got your gloves to help you handle thorns if you're not aware, like maybe you're really into roses but you're worried about all the thorns. There are gloves for that. Gloves keep your hands warm when it's chilly out here, but moreover, stuff isn't getting under your fingernails, stuff isn't touching you, It's not rough on your hands. And when your hands get worn out, you're not going to keep gardening. You're not going to stay outside and continue to go through things. Now, if I'm doing something that's dexterity focused, like putting out seeds or like, you know, things like that, or real quick things, I don't wear gloves. But if I am out here cleaning up, or I am using my clippers to prune something, or I'm pulling weeds, I wear gloves. To me, it's just way easier, way more enjoyable, right? So then the question becomes, what kind of gloves do you need? There's different gloves for different things. So if you're dealing with something really wet, maybe you need like a more working waterproof glove. They make work gloves. I don't have them. My husband wears them a lot. Are you dealing with thorny things with roses? They make gloves for that. I wear these type of gloves. They've got like, you know, they're stretchy on here, and then over here, they're like this. I also have multiple pairs of gloves, because I think that's important too. Because if you are working and your gloves get wet, you want to be able to change them. And they're not that expensive. I'm going to link the ones I get down below. Buy them on Amazon. I tend to get my gloves pretty tight fitting. I think that that's important for anyone. I have very small hands. I wear an extra small size glove. That might not be for everyone, but that's what works for me. So make sure that your gloves are fitting snugly. That will make it easier for use for dexterity. I most commonly use my gloves again when I'm weeding, when I am cleaning out areas, when I'm doing drip tube. A lot of times I use gloves because those fittings can be kind of rough on your hands, and it's easier to wiggle them together, and especially if you don't have as much hand strength, if you have some gloves. So to me, gloves are one of those things that can keep you out in the garden longer. It keeps you from losing your hands aren't so tired. So get you a pair of gloves. I know there's a lot of people here on YouTube that don't garden with gloves. They've been gardening so long that their hands just don't need them, and they don't like the lack of dexterity. But if you need gloves, wear gloves. Gloves. Get a pair of gloves. So let's move on to the next thing, and it's outside. So the next thing that I will say is a game changer. This first one, pretty inexpensive. Everyone can afford gloves. Go pick those up. They might already be in your Amazon cart. This next one, a little bit more pricey. And it's this guy right here. It's the Hoselink. If you've been watching any gardening YouTube videos, you've probably seen people with Hoselinks. And they are pricey. But this is a game changer. Rolling up a hose, especially hoses can be very heavy. The heavy dutier they are, the more heavy they are. To roll one up takes a lot of strength, and you have to do it after you've done the task. So when you've already decided, you know what, I'm tired, I'm going in, I'm giving up, I'm done with this task, now you have to roll up that hose. And then the next time you're like, I really need to water something, but I just don't want to unroll that hose. Or it takes me a long time to unroll and roll up that hose, so I'm not going to do that job. And there we go, losing our productivity again. And there we go, the garden's going to crap. No good. So you get a Hoselink. You pull it. You can quickly, in the morning before work, pull it out. And then when you're done, you give it a little tug. It walks itself back in. It takes all the work out for you. I'm doing it in one hand while I'm still holding those gloves. It's fantastic. They are pricey. I'm not going to say they're not pricey, but it's one of those things that if you're going to invest a large amount of money, this is one of the things I would, because again, if you are not watering your things, they are going to die. And ultimately, it's going to be a complete fail. This is one of those tools that's going to keep you gardening, make it easier on you to garden, keep things looking nice. It's going to be worth it. I would highly recommend a Hoselink. I have not tried any other retractable hose, and I know that there are other retractable hose brands out there. I would just read some reviews if that's something that you're into, or if you guys have another retractable Hoselink, comment down below so that we can share with other people. Again, there are other retractable hoses out there, And if you've had one, please comment below so that we can share with other people. But again, if the theme is how do we make gardening easier and realistic for people with limited time, it's gonna save you so much time and energy. To be fair, I do have a regular roll-up hose. I've got one of those. It lives over here. I think about every year I should just replace that with a Hoselink because it is terrible. It's heavy. It takes me a long time. I'm over there cranking. And I work out a lot. So I feel like it's fair for me to say, hey, that's just too much work. I do know that people also will buy those like fabric-y hoses that are easier to carry around. So that's another option as well. If you just don't have the money for a retractable hose or a Hoselink, maybe look into something like that. But be thinking about, how am I gonna get water to my plants? How am I gonna do all of that and make it doable for me? Otherwise, you're not gonna stay up on it and it's gonna become miserable for you and it's not gonna be maintainable. So a good way to water that's convenient and easy, Hoselink. Let's go inside for our third one because I'm cold. So forget the fact that my garage is so full, you can hardly get in it. This is number 4, a garden cart. Now specifically, I have this Gorilla cart. Jason bought it for me years ago. I have beat it to death. It is certainly very, very sturdy. It has a great turning radius. The large wheels make it easy to move around the yard, and it has a dump feature. And I love this thing. But you need some kind of garden cart. I would personally recommend the Gorilla cart. I love it. I think it's great. If that's not in your budget, you need to find some way to move things around your garden. Before I had a cart, I would get home from the plant store with a truck full of plants. And then it would take me like an hour to get them where I needed to go. And God forbid I had mulch or soil for containers or a large container or anything heavy. I was gonna have to carry that around my yard. And it's just not sustainable. By the time you get the stuff where you want it, you're tired and you wanna give up. And it's a 2-day project on something that should take you 15 minutes. Or you're rolling around the garden, you're doing basic maintenance, but you're having to go back to where you keep your gardening supplies. For us, it's the garage multiple times, and you're making multiple stops, and you're walking, and it's just a whole lot of walking that could be you working, making it more efficient, making it more time friendly. You need something to help you get stuff around the garden. You can put stuff in 5-gallon buckets and carry it, but ultimately, if you just spend the money on a garden cart, it's going to be a lot easier for you. When you're weeding stuff and you just want to throw stuff in the garden cart, when you're carrying around a bunch of seeds, but you're planting, on a day of planting seeds, you need seed packets and you need soil amendments and you need compost bags and you need something to dig with and all those things. You can put it all in one place and keep rolling. Also, you can get an outdoor speaker and use that, and it can be in your garden cart. You could put your cup of water in there. Like, all the things that you need can go in that garden cart. And it does a couple things for you as well, as far as when you get out there and you're working, now you have a place to put all the things, and so you don't necessarily have to pick up when you get done. It's already in there, and you just roll it back in the garage and put it away. It's so much easier. This is another one of those things that, yes, it costs a little bit of money, but ultimately, it is going to save you so much time and workload that you are going to get a lot more done in the garden. It's going to be a game changer in how you garden. I would 10 out of 10 recommend it. You need a way to get stuff around your yard. There's higher things than a garden cart. You can get something to tow behind your lawnmower, or you can get, we have a tractor, but I don't drive it, so I don't use that. Jason will use the tractor. There's all kind of other motorized carts and things that you can have that are even more efficient for you. But for the average gardener starting out and getting started, a good thing to have would be a garden cart. It's just going to make it so much easier for you to get your stuff where you need it to go, have it centralized, and move it around the yard. It's going to save you so much time and energy, and again, make it more efficient and reasonable for you to be out in the garden. We're going to go over one more garden must-have. And it's not just one object, it's a system. I have a bunch of videos on this channel about drip tubing. I live in an area in East Tennessee, Zone 7B, that gets a lot of water. But when it's not getting water, we still need to water it. I work, again, long hours, demanding schedule, stressful job. We travel a lot. I like to go do stuff with my family a lot. I need my garden to be able to water when I am not available to water it. So I would say 10 out of 10 recommend drip tubing. Drip system, drip tubing. Now, I will link my videos below about how I put in drip tubing and what I've learned about drip tubing. I have several of them. But in my opinion, if you are going to start gardening, take the watering 80% out of your responsibility and put in a drip system. When I first started looking at drip systems, I was like, oh my gosh, it's going to be so expensive, you know, and it really wasn't that expensive. It's not that difficult to do. You put in, you invest time and energy and you keep an eye on it, but it is going to save you so much time and energy and stress. You can go on vacation, not worry about your plants. If it's been a super dry spell, you can water. All these things, get a drip system. Now, you need several things for a drip system. You need the tubing that goes from the hose bib to the garden. You are going to need the fitters to put everything together. You need some sort of timer and the connection from that timer to the supply lines of water that you're putting out, and then you need the actual drip whatever. I do several different ones. I do drip tubing in flower beds. I have the smaller 1/4-inch drip tubing for my containers, and then in my raised beds and in my production garden, I have drip tape. So I have all kinds of different different things for different applications. A lot of times I feel like they're fairly interchangeable. I do like the drip tape out in the production garden because when I go to like till or plant, I can pull it up and put it back, and it's a lot more forgiving in that way. So there are different supplies you need. And again, I will link those videos down below because it would be very difficult for you to understand everything about drip from this video here. I will say one of the things that I did a while ago was put together like a drip supplies kit. And I would 10 out of 10 recommend keeping your drip in this kind of thing here. Let me show you what it's got. Now, every now and then I go in and restock it, and it needs to be restocked now, but basically, it's got different fitters in here. I have beat this thing up. It's from, Home Depot, but different size of fitters in here for different applications. But I can carry this out with me, and so if the drip tubing is broken or needs to be maintenance in any way, I can throw this in my garden cart, take it with me, fix the problem, and come back. I don't have to find a little emitter here and a little emitter there, or whatever the case may be. It does need to be restocked, but I would recommend, if you are going to do drip tubing, get somewhere to centralize and keep all of your drip supplies. That way, if you are needing to fix something, it is available to you. But again, I will say all of these products and all of these things that I've mentioned are the things that I feel like make gardening, when you are busy, when you are lacking on time and energy, or when you're sick, whatever it is that's holding you, when life gets in the way, these are the things that if you spend your money on these, they're going to give you the biggest return on investment on giving you time and energy back and making it more efficient and easy for you to be in the garden. So that's why I am recommending these things. But I feel like drip tubing makes it so I can garden. I feel like that's one of those things where it's like, if I didn't have that, when I went on vacation, everything would die. Or when I'm working a lot, everything would die. And this way I don't have to ask someone to watch my garden for me. It's all going to be taken care of. So those are my 4 things that I was starting a garden in 2026, I would be investing the most in. I would love it if you guys would comment down below what things you feel like are just the biggest game changer tools that you use all the time that make things so much easier for you. Because again, for new gardeners, I just think it's so important, or even for seasoned gardeners that maybe are like struggling with watering or struggling with reeling up a hose, or they're like, you know what, my hands just get so tired when I'm out there and I can't, you know, like it makes me give up. Or, you know, I'm just having a hard time moving things around the garden, or I've suffered some kind of injury this year and things are harder for me and I need help. These are things that I feel like your return on investment as far as what you're getting back for the amount of money you're putting in are so very important. Hopefully soon we can do some garden tours. I may do one here in winter. It's ugly out there. It looks abysmal. Things just don't look good. But I feel like I might do a garden tour just so you can see where we're at right now. So comment down below if you'd be interested in that. But in any case, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.